Some shows don't need a celebrity narrator to introduce the show, but this show does. In a world filled with endless opportunities, why would two men who have built 13 multi-million-dollar businesses altruistically invest 5 hours per day to teach you the best practice business systems and moves that you can use? Because they believe in you, and they have a lot of time on their hands. They started from the bottom, now they're here. It's the Thrivetime show starring the former U.S. Small Business Administration's Entrepreneur of the Year, Clay Clark, and the entrepreneur trapped inside an optometrist's body, Dr. Robert Zoellner. 2 men, 8 kids, co-created by 2 different women, 13 multi-million-dollar businesses.
Get ready to enter the Thrivetime show.
We started from the bottom, now we here. We started from the bottom and we'll show you how to get here. Started from the bottom, now we here. We started from the bottom, now we here.
We started from the bottom, now we're on the top. Teaching you the systems to get what we got. Colton Dixon's on the hooks, I break down the books. Z's bringing some wisdom and the good looks. As the father of 5, that's why I'm a dive. So if you see my wife and kids, please tell them hi. It's the C&Z up on your radio. And now 3, 2, 1, here we go.
We started from the bottom, now we here. We started from the bottom.
Well, D, on today's show, I want to talk about 3 ways to get rich, and three legal ways, 3 legal and realistic ways to get rich in a capitalistic economy. And so D, I mean, you've met, you've worked with Dr. Z and I doing graphic design, print pieces and things behind the scenes. You do a lot of graphic design. You've seen a lot of people that have achieved success and a lot of people that haven't. Mm-hmm. And so we're going to talk about 3 realistic ways that everybody can go out there and achieve massive success. Okay. So the first one, before we introduce our guest today, is you have to be really talented. I mean, you have to be born with a skill set to sing, to dribble a basketball, to ice skate while smashing a hockey puck. D, have you ever met people like this that are just super talented and they're God gave them a lot of talents?
Sure.
You've seen these people.
Yeah.
Okay. So that step one, if you're saying, I want to get rich, well, step one, you could go out there and just beg, plead, ask God to give you lots of talent. Now, the rest of today's show is dedicated to people out there that don't fall into that category. Okay. So that would be the second, is to go out there and you could buy a franchise or a proven licensed systems. Now, there's a lot of companies. And I mentioned TipTopCanine.com as an example. I mentioned OxyFresh as an example, UPS as an example. A franchise is where you're buying a system that's already been proven to work. And the third option is you could hire a mentor to help you avoid the landmines and to follow a proven path. Those are kind of your options here. So without any further ado, Josh Spurl, welcome on to the Thrivetime Show. How are you, sir?
Doing great, Clay. Thanks for having me.
So, Josh, tell everybody out there, what's the website people can go to verify that you are not, in fact, a hologram?
It is www.spurl, SPURRELL.ca.
Spurl.ca. So spurl.ca. That's the website right there. And tell everybody out there, what are the services that you guys provide?
I mean, we do accounting and tax services for Canadians, and fractional CFO services for anybody around the globe.
And how long have you and I worked together, Josh? How long have we worked together for the goals of helping to grow Spurl.ca?
I believe we've been working together for about 5 years now.
And D, how long have I known you? I think it's got to be close to 10 years.
Well, it's probably more like 12.
12 years. Yeah. So I've known D for 7 years longer than I've known Spurl. We have helped to build lots of multi-million-dollar companies. You see it, D.
Yeah, right.
And you're typically doing the web design or graphic design. And so I'm going to give some examples today of people that have gone to thrivetimeshow.com and they've become super successful. And we're going to kind of celebrate them, and I'm going to get Josh's take on this. Okay, so the first one here, this company is called, and this is just an example. This isn't the only one, but Sierra Pools and Spas, Tulsa. That's what they're. So Sierra Pools and Spas. They're in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Spurl, how is it that they were able to come to a workshop? I don't think you've ever met these people. How is it that they were able to come to a workshop, learn what to do, and actually go home and do it, when many other people maybe can't find the time to implement what they're learning?
I think it's just people have to establish what their priorities are, right? And you kind of have to tune out the things that maybe people tell you should be important to let in the things that really actually are important. If you really want to build your business, you're going to have to sacrifice something else. And people always say you're going to sacrifice family or something else. That's not how it has to be. It's just, you could have a nuisance hobby. It's just, you don't have to sacrifice family life at all. It's just, maybe you'll play less slow pitch games or less tag football games, and you'll have a real business and still have a strong family.
I'll say this too, D. If you're out there today and you're sacrificing your family, you're a sick freak. Don't be sacrificing your family, you sick Illuminati. Don't be sacrificing your family. No, that's family sacrifice talk. Okay, no, but seriously. So I hear that argument, though. So step one, okay, these guys here with Sierra Pools, we had to optimize the branding. Okay, we had to optimize the branding. Now, I'm talking about the print pieces, the logos, the website, everything that a potential customer would see. And D, we're never done. They're always making little updates and tweaks.
Right.
Why can't you ever be done? I mean, why do you have to make that initial push? But why do you always have to do just little updates over time?
Well, because the world is never done changing and moving, and you have to change with it sometimes. You have to, just keep growing as the world does.
Now, let me go to pmhokc.com. This is a client we've worked with. We've helped them grow from $600,000 a year, from $600,000 a year to, no exaggeration, $400,000 a week of sales. And this is called pmhokc.com. A lot of white space on their website. Maybe it's loading kind of slow. We'll come back to it. We'll go to another one called tiptopcanine.com. This is another brand. We helped them to grow from 1 location to 18. Again, the branding. Spurl, why does everybody out there, if you're listening today, why do you have to make sure your website, your print pieces, your videography, your photography, everything that the customer sees, why does that have to be optimized, sir?
I mean, you got to make sure that we're getting the right customers, because, to a certain extent, we choose the customers. And if people are always getting the wrong type of customers, it's because the branding's, not talking to them. And just, it has to be on point, because people just dramatically overestimate how long someone's going to take to make that buying decision. When I look at this Tip Top Canine dog training here, I know exactly what they do as soon as you pull up the page. It's not complicated. I don't have to read forever. I don't have to click through multiple links. I know exactly what to do. I know exactly what their offer is, just by looking at it, less than 5 seconds.
Now, once you optimize the site and the visual look of it, then it comes down to, will people actually find the website? I mean, you could have a great looking site, but if no one ever finds it, that's a problem. Okay. So let me give you an example. This is PMHOKC. It's a load now. I hit refresh here, pmhokc.com. Great looking website, but if you can't find it, it doesn't matter. So I want to talk to you about this, Spurl. Why does everybody out there, if you're listening out there today, why do you have to implement a 3-legged marketing stool, a proven system to get in front of your ideal and likely buyers? Why can't you just have a great looking site?
I mean, the great looking site is the proverbial billboard in the middle of the woods that no one's going to see. I mean, it can look really good. It's a billboard, but no one's actually going to see it. So we have to actually make sure that they can see it. And then, the 3-legged marketing stool, it helps, even if one leg of the stool, even if one thing goes down, the marketing's actually still working. We're not completely reliant on any one intake mechanism.
So step 1, you have to optimize the branding. Step 2, you must implement a 3-legged marketing stool. Now, step 3, D, you have to track your results. So if you look at PMHOKC, or you look at, let me give another example of a brand we work with, oxyfresh.com. If the branding for Oxyfresh looks great now. We have a 3-legged marketing stool where it's how we market to our customers. You have to ask yourself, who are your ideal and likely buyers, and what's the best way to market to them? But after you do that, D, you have to track the results. Why do you have to implement a tracking system?
I mean, really, so you know what works and what's not working and how things are growing.
And I think a lot of people, though, they don't want to track, Josh. Maybe not your clients, maybe not my clients, but other people listening to other shows. Why don't people want to track, Josh?
I mean, it's like anything. They want it to work with as little amount of effort as possible, right? But, what gets measured are the things that we put attention to. So, we have to know it. We're launching marketing initiatives. It's, are we getting the impressions that we want? If not, then we have to work on the ad itself. Are we actually getting the clicks? So they're seeing the ad, but they don't like what they see, so they're not clicking through. And then finally, when they get to the page, like, are we actually getting the leads? Does that person look at our page and actually want to call us, right? We have to know. If we track it, we know we can find out which stage it's breaking down at.
Now, if you look at this website here, oxyfresh.com, or let's do a Google search real quick for carpet cleaning quotes. Right now, OxyFresh is the world's highest rated and most reviewed company with 255,024 reviews. The phone rings all the time. This just in. The phone rings all the time at OxyFresh, 500 locations. D, when the phone rings, we have to have the calls recorded. Now, the company that I recommend, you don't have to use this company, but the company I recommend is called clarityvoice.com. Why do you have to record the calls, D, and make sure that your team is following a proven script if you are generating leads?
Well, because if you're tracking things, you have to have a way to measure them to see if they're working. And calls, really, that's the only way to really see what's going wrong if people aren't buying or if sales aren't being made. You have to find out if it's what end it's on.
Now, D, can I share a secret with you? And okay, and Josh, I want to share a secret with you and our listeners out there. We just kind of keep this between us and the 258,000 Rumble subscribers and the other subscribers on Instagram and Facebook. We want to keep this a private conversation between us and about 500,000 people. Okay. So here we go. There are certain people that don't follow the script, and there are certain people that do. And I think a lot of times people go, I don't want to track. I don't need to measure, Josh, because my team, they're all going to follow the system, baby. I don't need to have call recording. I don't need to have a script. But then whenever I have installed call recording or call scripting, every single time I find that the dynamic range between the best person and the worst person on a sales team, the range between the best salesperson and the worst is on average at least 5 to 1. What am I saying? I'm saying that the top sales guy might sell 25 things a day, and the worst guy might sell 5 things a day with the exact same leads. Josh, how's that possible?
I mean, people think that sales is an art, but, it's really a science. We can measure what works and what doesn't work. And if we have those calls recorded, we can figure out what we actually need to say to that potential customer at that time, to either to give them the price and make them buy right there or get them into a sales appointment. It's not something that should be left to chance, because if you figure out a recipe that works, we should do it all the time. It's, KFC isn't going to change their recipe for chicken every time you go in. They got a recipe, they're going to stick with it because it works.
Now, if you're going to thrivetimeshow.com/millionaire, I want to tell you something here. Thrivetimeshow.com/millionaire. What we do here is you can download my newest book. You can read along today for free. The book's called How to Become Sustainably Rich. It's a book you can download again, thrivetimeshow.com/millionaire. And if you go there and we're on page 104, I'm going to read this to you. These are all things. There's a lot of sales systems, but this is just one of them. Okay. You want to install a cross-selling checklist. Josh, why would you possibly, if you're cleaning carpets, we have 517 locations at OxyFresh, the phone rings. Why would we also want to say, hey, in addition to cleaning carpets, are you aware that we can also do wood floor cleaning? I mean, why would we want to introduce the other solutions that we provide? Why would we not want to just, remember it sometimes, not remember it other times? Why would we want to have a cross-selling system in place?
I mean, to acquire the customer and make the first sale is always the most expensive. So if we can upsell, or we can resell to an existing customer, the cost of acquisition for that sale was effectively zero. So, it's extremely important that we can do that.
Now, D, why would we want to have on-hold music? When you go to oxyfresh.com, you go to Tip Top Canine, you go to elephantintheroom.com. I'm just throwing out examples so people can see real companies that we really help or are really involved with. I mean, you go to Papa Gallo's. This is a pizzeria in Florida. We've helped them to grow this family, to help them grow their businesses by 8 times. I mean, just 8 times larger. D, if someone's on hold, why do you want to have on-hold music?
So they know what's going on. So they know they're on. Otherwise, they don't know if the call disconnected or, I mean, it's.
I'm just saying, though, but people don't do this stuff by default. And I think people, a lot of times they think that being a successful business owner is like this, it's like a luck thing. But it's not a luck thing. Can I tell you guys can I tell you our secret? I like the secrets today. Can I tell you? I feel like we're in the circle of trust between you and me and the 500,000 listeners out there. This weekend, I'm always trying to flip a house. I'm always trying to have a house that I'm flipping. Okay. So right now, this weekend, I went out to said locations. And I probably looked at 15 houses, and there were some things I liked about some houses. There were some things I didn't like about the houses. But Josh, it wasn't luck that led me to finding what could be the big kahuna. It's looking at a lot of properties that, although they look good online, they might not be that great in person. And I know what I'm looking for from vacation rentals. I understand the idea. And when you have a vacation rental, what you want is you want it to be the kind of place that's aspirational. You want it to be the kind of place that has more functionality and more wow and pizzazz than you would have in your own home. You have to have a property that photos well. So Josh, I went to a home that looked great online. And I'm not kidding you guys. The driveway, this might not translate well via video, but I'm going to try. If a standard driveway is like this, it's flat.
Mm-hmm.
This driveway was like this. It had to be like a 45-degree angle. And I'm thinking, like, how in the hell can anybody possibly drive? And my son is 16. He says, Dad, how could anyone possibly drive into that garage? And I'm going, dude, if you were on a motorcycle, you'd flip backwards if you tried to go up that thing. If you're in a golf cart, you couldn't make it up. If you were somebody who has any kind of asthma, emphysema, and you can't squat 300 pounds, you're not making up that driveway. I mean, it's like climbing the face of a mountain. Now, Josh, when I look at vacation rentals or homes to buy, this is the common jackassery I find. I mean, I find bathroom doors that if you try to open it, it's not possible to like get out while it being opened unless you're like a small person. Josh, why can't I just set the easy button and just buy the first house? I mean, why do you have to get out there, get in the trenches, and really put in the effort? Why can't we just have success by just, automate it, set it, forget it, boom?
I mean, it's like most things in life. If you want to find the best, you're going to have to look through a lot of the garbage to get it, right? And we talk about like hiring employees. It's like you want to hire a good employee, meet 100 people and hire one of them instead of meeting 2 and hire one of them. So, it's just like houses. I bought a bunch of real estate too. And sometimes the listings looks good online, but when you get there, you're going to see little nuances. And sometimes it's the other way where you find things that are great about the property that you actually couldn't see online. So it works both ways, right?
Now, speaking of both working both ways, you know what month it is this month? I'm just kidding with you. Hey, implementing the proven hiring process. Wow. Okay, implementing the proven hiring process. So I don't even know what month it is. Who knows when we're recording this? I mean, is it June? Is it another month? I don't know. So you got to have a proven hiring process. So every single week, D, I do an interview. I interview all potential candidates, people that want to be photographers, videographers, web developers, hair cutters, salespeople, accountant folks, branding people, marketing people, salespeople, all these people, managers. And D, every single week, it's a turnkey process for hiring. Now, again, you got to have a pre-written email when the candidate applies. You got to have an email or a job post that makes sense. There's a strategy to optimizing your job listings. But at the end of the day, you have to do the hiring process every week. D, why do I have to hire people every single week? Even if we have low turnover in our key positions, why do I have to do it every week, D?
Just to make sure you have enough people in case somebody quits or in case somebody, just gets mad and walks out, or, you don't want to ever be left where something's not covered.
Now, Josh, does this sound, I mean, I know you're in Canada, but in Canada, do you ever have turnover ever? Does anyone ever quit ever?
Oh yeah, you get turnover, and it's like, either they're going to turn over or you want to turn them over. So one or the other, right? And the other part about it too is like sometimes the best people, they're just not available in the 1 week where in the one posting where you're looking, if you're only looking a couple times a year. So it's A, you're never short staffed, and B, you never miss out on the all-stars if you're always looking.
Now, step 6, you want to implement the proven accounting systems and processes. You have to do this. Now, the accounting, I mean, at the end of the day, D, I'm sure you've met a lot of graphic designers, probably not you, but other graphic designers. I'm sure you've met a lot of wonderful people, Josh, who are accountants, CPAs, they're busy people, a lot of marketing gurus, whatever. And I find that a lot of times people by default don't drift into profitability. I find just by default, they don't typically just drift and go, this week I wasn't really being fastidious about my accounting, but through just luck and osmosis and entropy, I've made a lot of money. Why does it tend to be that people don't drift into success?
Because that's just not the way it works. Success is setting a goal and getting there, and you got to work toward that. And you can't drift into finishing a goal. That's a purposeful thing.
So you got to be purposeful.
Yeah.
It's the intentional thing. I mean, Josh, every single day I try to get here as the first person to work. Every day I try to leave the last person to work. I'm not doing it to impress anybody. I'm not doing it for an award. I do it because I have a fastidious mindset towards implementing the systems and processes that we've created. And year after year, day after day, month after month, some people go, are you going to be here tomorrow? First thing tomorrow? Yes. Are you going to be here this weekend? Yes. You're going to be here the time. I have a schedule and a system that works for me to implement these. Somebody out there listening today, maybe you want to create time freedom and work 4 days a week. Maybe you want to work 6 days a week. I work 6 days a week. But Josh, once you create these systems, you implement these systems, why can't you just set it and forget it? Why do you have to consistently show up day after day, year after year, just like you've done at Spurl CPA?
Well, I think you set the tone for the organization. So, if you're people just think of the solopreneur and they can work whenever they want. But the problem is, if you want to scale your business, you got to build a team. And if the team can't count on you, they're not going to implement your system. So I kind of always view it, if I was going to take a day off, and if I have 25 staff working for me, well, they're at least all going to take 2 days off. So if I take 1 day off and there's 25 people working for me, that means I'm going to lose 50 days by me taking off. And, that's kind of the reason why I haven't missed a day in 7 years.
So, Josh, I want to ask you this final question here for all the listeners out there that are taking notes. Many people are going to spurl.ca right now, probably filling out the form, just asking you if you'll sign their face. Sir, what would be your pro tip for anybody out there that is listening? They're taking notes and know you're not available to sign their face. What question do you have there, sir?
I mean, the question that I'd have for them is, people want to start a business, but the biggest thing, maybe one of the biggest myths is why they start a business is they want initial time freedom. And, that's going to be kind of hard to do unless you have a bunch of money. So either you got money or you got time, but, you got to have one or the other in order to build a business. So
which one do you value more today, folks? Is it time freedom? Is it what do you want? Is it that ultimate success? Is it the time? Is it the time you will? Which one do you care more about? Do you care about the success or the time? Because there will be a time that you're going to have to commit the time needed to achieve financial freedom and time freedom. You're going to have to implement these systems. And again, folks, if you want to learn all the details, all the nitty gritty, you can go to thrivetimeshow.com/ it's thrivetimeshow.com/millionaire. And there you can download all of the books I've written for free. Also, if you want to see case studies so you can know there's people out there like you, just like Josh, who've achieved big success, just go to thrivetimeshow.com, click on testimonials. And for a blasty blast and a good time, check out spurl.ca. Josh, thank you so much for your time today, sir. We'll talk to you next week.
Right on, guys. Have a good week.
See ya. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Well, D, as we continue on this theme of how to become sustainably rich, again, just recapping, folks, there's 3 ways you can become rich that I see people do all the time. One is you could just be born 7'2", very talented, good at basketball. That's what you need to do. And then you're fine. You could be an incredible singer. Just make sure you're born that way. You'll be fine. But for everybody else, step 2 is you can buy a proven system. There are people out there who have put in the time and effort needed to build a proven system, and that's called a franchise. And that's an option for you out there. And then that third option is you could maybe hire somebody to guide you down the path or work with a team to help you perfect those systems. Now, today's guest is kind of unique because he has actually built several multi-million-dollar companies, SnapFitness.com, many locations of SnapFitness, 9round.com, VODvirtual.com, nauticalbowls.com. This is a man who has taken multiple brands and has helped to scale these. And he's kind of work through the punch list of the things you need to do to build a scalable business today. And so without any further ado, Peter Taunton, welcome on to the Thrivetime Show. How are you, sir?
Hey, brother. I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm excited to have you here. And again, just so people out there who maybe aren't familiar with you can learn a little bit more. How many Snap Fitness locations did you ultimately get to before you moved on to your next thing?
Well, I'm still own about 25% of all those brands, but Snap Fitness, between Snap Fitness, 9round, Fitness on Demand, and my other brands, I've got about 6,000 locations in 28 countries. So it's a beast of a business. I've been doing it for about 25 years. And
wow.
So it's all good, right?
Do you ever drive to a city just to find a city that might not have one of your brands? Have you ever tried to do that? You try not to find one of your brands?
There's a few of them out there, but you know what? Those are high-class problems to have. I'm really blessed and thankful that the that the brands I've created, and that's kind of the cornerstone of success, is make sure that what you're bringing to market makes sense and it screams value to the consumer.
So I'm going to walk through kind of the checklist of what we need to have in place to build a scalable business. Now, all these things you already have in place with your companies. Maybe you could educate the listeners out there, some of which are looking to buy a franchise and maybe some that are looking to kind of perfect their own brand. One is the branding. The branding, what does it mean to have great branding in your mind?
Well, I think, if you even go a little bit further upstream on that, Clay, branding starts with value. Okay. And when you create a product that in your eyes brings value, and it brings value in the eyes of the consumer, you have to help the consumer find their way to your brand. So for me, I say, what are my value? What are the material movers in the product that I'm selling around my franchise? What is that product? And that's what I scream to the mountaintop. I want to make sure that the first 30 seconds of my message to somebody hearing me for the first time, that it resonates with what they're thinking, that immediately they can see the value. As you know, and people say it all the time, give me your elevator speech, give me your 2-minute value proposition on your brand. I think when you're talking to the consumer in an oh, by the way fashion, I think you've got 30 seconds, maybe 45 seconds before they tune you out or tune in, personally.
And so let's focus on maybe one of your newest brands here, just to kind of put a little meat on the bone here. You've got nauticalbowls.com. So if you, and again, not to paint you into a corner, but if I'm out there today and I'm going, what's Nautical Bowls? Could you maybe explain it to D, the man to my right, who maybe doesn't know what this brand is, what this brand's all about?
Yeah, sure. The acai bowl space, it's a new category, and it's the number one category in the restaurant space called healthy, fast casual. All right. Here's why it's relevant. Today, everyone understands that eating a sensible diet and exercising makes sense. You don't have to prove that model anymore. People understand, and most of them would agree with you. This product, it's not dessert, it's a meal replacement. And think about it. The reason I love this product, the reason I'm passionate about it, and if you remember, Clay, my background has been fitness. So this is a very easy transition for me. Now I'm talking about nutrition. I'm talking about fuel. I'm talking about what you put in your body to make you feel great and look great. So this product, it's organic, soy-free, gluten-free, completely plant-based, no refined sugar. And that's what our customers are looking for. They're looking for a product that tastes good and it's good for them. I also love the relevance of the product. Okay, it's not dessert. You're not going to go to Ruth's Chris Steakhouse and then go to Nautical Bowls for dessert. Some people have this in the morning for breakfast. Some people have it as their post-workout. Some people have it for lunch, mid-afternoon snack to tide them over before dinner. And some people have it for dinner. So I love it. Personally, I love it as my late evening snack around 8 o'clock when I'm feeling like I want something to eat. This is a great snack for me, 8 o'clock, rather than having chips and salsa or something else that I also enjoy.
Now, again, so step one here, you're saying is create the value for your potential customers. Then we move on to step two. We optimize the branding. And again, folks, the website's first class, the print pieces, the marketing materials. We got to make sure everything that a customer sees is in fact first class. Now, step three, and D, as a graphic designer, I'm sure you've never seen this problem, but it's where the entrepreneur has great branding, but no customers. Have you ever seen this phenomenon?
Sure.
And if you're not careful, you keep throwing more and more money at the branding, but you're not attracting customers. I'd love to have you share with us about Nautical Bowls and maybe the systems you have in place that you're allowed to share. Obviously, it's a franchise. I don't want you to give away your franchise secrets, but what are some of the marketing systems that you have in place for new franchisees?
Well, for us, we do a lot of target marketing, and that's the beautiful part about today's technology, the geo-targeting, the spending habits of the consumer. In our case, I spent over $100,000 on analytical software drilling down into the spending and buying habits of geographical areas around the country. I not only spent over $100,000 for that data, Clay, I spend about $8,000 a month to make sure that data is refreshed every 3 days. That's how important it is. For me personally, Clay, for my product, it's not about radio, direct mail, or billboards. That's not it anymore. It's even not, it's also, for me, it's not Facebook That's it. It's literally geo-target marketing. So for me, once I understand your spending habits, now I can geo-target you. If you're anywhere within a proximity of my stores, I know just what to say to you to get you to have a moment of pause to probably go into one of my stores. And I can measure that data. I mean, believe it or not, on many of my campaigns, many of them,
Yep.
for every dollar I spend, I've got some stores for every dollar they spend using my campaign, they yield 7. Think about that. I mean, if you, in the old days, in my fitness days, if I could spend $1 and get $1 back, I would do that any day that ends in Y. Honestly, even if I could spend $1 and get 25 cents back, I would do that.
Right.
Okay. But now it's the technology is there. So for me, it's about putting a brand message together that fits the profile of the customer that I'm trying to blow in their ear. And I'm going to blow in the ear of somebody who's 65, 70 years old, far different than that 21-year-old. Okay. So I've got a number of different messages, profiling a number of different customer bases that I have. And every time I'm selling bowls, I'm digging into the analytical data supporting who is my customer, what is their lifestyle, how do they spend their money.
And one of the things that you do a great job of is tracking the results. And so now as you're looking at Nautical Bowls, how many locations do you have open at this point, sir?
I've got 48 open, but I've got by next weekend, I'll have over 50. I have 48 open. I have 59 stores in the build out process right now. And I've got almost 170 awarded territories in 18 months. I mean, I'm by far the fastest growing acai bowl concept in the country, by bar none. Look, it's not a race, but my product works. I mean, I just had a store open this past weekend. They did $6,000 their first day. That's pretty incredible. Their first day.
Now I want to ask you this here, and again, I'm not trying to paint you into a corner. A lot of times, interviews they kind of paint you into a corner and try to. I'm just wanting to get a kind of the broad brush, so our listeners can maybe schedule a consultation with you to drill down more. But you guys do help people track their leads or track the ROI, track the return on investment. You help people track what's working and what's not. Could you maybe share a little bit of detail on how you help the local franchisees verify that what they're doing is in fact working?
Yeah, we have a report that we create that talks about how the ad dollars are being spent. And to me, you spend $1, I can track the immediate return. In other words, of that dollar spent, how many people actually came in? Let's just say an example. Let's say that I spend $500 on an ad campaign, which is not a lot. I spend $500. I can immediately tell you how many people I touched and how many of those people came in and actually redeemed the offer. But there's another cross section of people that looked at the campaign, but they didn't act on it. Okay. That lead is not lost. They just didn't follow all the way through. Now I can create a trickle campaign for those people just blowing in their ear because they didn't say no. They didn't say yes, but they didn't say no. And that's important to understand. Okay. Until I get a firm no, I'm going to continue to blow in your ear. So what I measure immediately is what's my immediate ROI. But then if I find that I'm penetrating 25% of those people that initially come in, but they come in a month later and I get them to become a loyalty guest, now it's the ROI on that ad campaign, it's exponential. And that's what I tell people. When our customer becomes a loyalty guest, they spend 4 times as much money as just the regular walk-in customer. That's the value of a loyalty customer. And I get right into the weeds on that with people. I say, look, here, this is why the guest experience matters. Okay, this is why when people come in and they're going to spend their hard-earned dollars, they got to feel special. They got to feel appreciated. Yes, you got to give them a great product, but it's the intangibles that matter too. I got to make you feel special, and I got to make you feel like you know that I appreciate that you took the time to come in and join me today.
And again, folks, if you go to Nautical Bowls, I mean, they're intentional about the entire experience, the sights, the sounds, the experience, the smells, the flavors, all of that. Now, the final area I want to focus on and tap into your wisdom on is, and D, I'll kind of tee it up this way. You got to hire the right people. And D, have you ever worked, and I'm not trying to look at for specific, I'm not trying to get you in trouble here, but have you ever worked in an environment where you knew, D, that the person next to you didn't want to be there, but they kept showing up?
Oh, yeah.
You've seen it.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
So you've seen a work environment where the wrong person was at the right job or vice versa.
Sure.
Okay. And so one of the biggest challenges people have is they say it's hard to find people. And one of the great things I love about Nautical Bulls, having had conversations with Peter and his team there, is you guys have really thought through how to minimize the number of people needed to make one of these stores work. Tell us, Peter, about how much human capital, how many human resources, what kind of people we need to run a Nautical Bulls location.
That's the other thing that attracted me about this concept, the simplicity of it. You know, when I got involved in this concept, I dummied it down. And that's the first step of creating a successful franchise brand. Don't make it too technical. For us, all we sell is acai bowls when everyone else is trying to sell everything from smoothies, salads, wraps, sandwiches. We're strictly acai bowls. Our footprint is small, 750 to about 1,200 square feet. One full-time employee and about 10 to 15 part-timers. Okay. So typical when you walk into one of our stores, you're going to see anywhere from 1 to 3 people working the store. Okay. We make your bowl right in front of you in 2 minutes or less. So if I've got 3 people on the line, we're moving people through very fast. So very simple business. And getting to your point, Clay, about hiring. Look, I tell my franchisees, think of yourself as a casting director. You're hiring personalities because what we're doing, it's not technical. We could teach anyone to do it. So what do I look for? I look for somebody who smiles easily. They lean in. They've got decent people skills because I could tell them, hey, look, that guest is going to be in front of you for about 1.5 minutes to 2 minutes. Here's 3 or 4 easy things to converse with that guest when he's in front of you. So you leave him with an impression. Okay, that you're not just standing there with your face down in the bowl, making the bowl. You're looking up, you're engaging them. So look, we go through extensive training with our franchisees. Our staff is typically from 16 years to 21 years old. That's our typical range of our employees. We welcome everyone, but that generally is who they are. They smile easily, they're engaging. That's why we have a great energy when you walk into our store. It starts with the music, it finishes with the vibe, and then the people, right? I always say, you know, a business that's failing, I don't care if it's Nautical Bulls or pick it, SnapFit, pick any of your brands. It's never the palace, it's the people. That's what brings the glue to a successful business.
Now, final question, final area I want to harp on here today is, you know, a lot of people will go out there and buy a Suburban for like $80,000 and they'll get a payment on that thing. D, I'm sure you've never met people that maybe don't have a big net worth, but they have a big car.
Never.
Okay, I've never. So there's a lot of people, though, they go out there and they'll get a car payment, no problem. They'll say, man, the Mercedes, that's a vehicle that I could go get. They go talk to the car guy. The car guy sits down with them and he says, hey, you know, if you can drive it off the lot today for $780 a month, and you go, well, I can't afford the down payment. That's no problem. It'll just be $1,100 a month. And these people, they might not have enough gas. They can't afford the gas to get from A to B, but they have that vehicle. Now, I look at a business as a vehicle. That's how I look at it. A business is a vehicle to get you from point A to point B. So I don't understand our culture, but a lot of people in our culture will borrow money to buy a vehicle like a Suburban, but they won't borrow money to buy a vehicle that has the potential to change their life. And so what's really great about Nautical Bulls as well is you've got some financing options available. So let's just say someone's listening today, Peter, and they say, man, how much is it? And how much is the monthly payment? Tell us about what it would cost to own a Nautical Bulls franchise.
So to qualify for our financing, you need to have $100,000 cash. Okay. This business all in is about $350,000 all in. However, if you can come to the table with $100,000 cash, if you and your partner collectively or alone have a net worth of $250,000 or more, we can get you approved for financing. We'll finance you up to $250,000. So you come to the table with 100, we'll finance $250 for you. We'll finance it over 10 years with no penalty for early payoff. So we make it easy for you to get into business. Your monthly payment on that loan is going to be about $3,200, give or take. And like I said, no penalty for early payoff. So a lot of our franchisees, they come in, they get into the game, they get their business up and running. Some take the surplus cash from that business and they put it on the sidelines. As soon as they saved another $100,000, they open up their second store. Some people get into it a little more aggressively. They buy a 3-pack. And they open them one at a time, but it allows them to put 3 dots on the map to save their territory. So everyone's a little bit different, but that's the beautiful part about this franchise. If you can beg, borrow, or steal $100,000 and you want to find a way to be your own boss and find your own way to financial freedom, we help you get there. We take that person, as well as we've got other franchisees that have come from other concepts, very sophisticated operators that come in, they buy 5 or 10 licenses and they plan to open them up over the next 2-3 years. That's kind of the gamut of our franchisee, but you know what? We take them all, you open them one at a time, and we're there to hold your hand through the entire process. That's why we're growing as fast as we are. We really stand behind our product. We help you with the real estate, the lease negotiations, the build out, the permitting. We do it all. We do all your architectural drawings for you. It's a one-stop shop, and I've done that with every one of my brands, and that's why I've been able to grow 3 brands to over 1,000 plus locations of each one.
Now, final 30 seconds there, sir. How much does it cost total to buy Nautical Bowls, and what's the first step people need to take if they want to learn more about opening a Nautical Bowls franchise today, sir?
Literally, just click on that upper right button where it says franchise. You click on that, you're going to fill out just a really simple profile, and one of our guys will reach out to you and just walk it on the path. Very soft sell. Look, we're not, like I said, we're not selling franchises. We're awarding opportunities, and if you're a good fit for us and you feel that we're a good fit for you, we'll hold your hand through the process. So it just takes 100,000 cash to get in the game, and then we get you well on your way to the promised land.
Peter, thank you for carving out time for us. We can't wait to talk to you next week. And again, folks, that website is nauticalbowls.com. I'll put a link to it on today's show notes. That's nauticalbowls.com. Peter Taunton, thank you so much for joining us, sir. Have a great day.
Hey, you guys too. Take care now. Bye-bye.
The number of new customers that we've had is up 411% over last year. We are Jared and Jennifer Johnson. We own Platinum Pest and Lawn and are located in Owasso, Oklahoma. And we have been working with Thrive for business coaching for almost a year now.
Yeah. So what we want to do is we want to share some wins with you guys that we've had by working with Thrive. First of all, we're on the top page of Google now. Okay. I just want to let you know what type of accomplishment this is. Our competition, Orkin, Terminex, they're both $1.3 billion companies. They both have 2,000 to 3,000 pages of content attached to their website. So to basically go from virtually non-existent on Google to up on the top page is really saying something. But that's come by being diligent to the systems that Thrive has, by being consistent and diligent on doing podcasts and staying on top of those podcasts to really help with getting up on with their listing and ranking there with Google.
And also we've been trying to get Google reviews, asking our customers for reviews. And now we're the highest rated and most reviewed pest and lawn company in the Tulsa area. And that's really helped with our conversion rate. And the number of new customers that we've had is up 411% over last year.
Wait, say that again. How much are we up?
411%.
Okay, so 411% we're up with our new customers. Amazing.
Right. So not only do we have more customers calling in, we're able to close those deals at a much higher rate than we were before. Right now, our closing rate is about 85%, and that's largely due to, first of all, like our Google reviews that we've gotten people really see that our customers are happy, but also we have a script that we follow. And so when customers call in, they get all the information that they need. That script has been refined time and time again. It wasn't a one and done deal. It was a system that we followed with Thrive in the refining process, and that has obviously the 411% shows that system works.
Yeah, so here's a big one for you. So last week alone, our booking percentage was 91%. We actually booked more deals, more new customers last year than we did the first 5 months, or I'm sorry, we booked more deals last week than we did the first 5 months of last year from before we worked with Thrive. So again, we booked more deals last week than the first 5 months of last year. And it's incredible. But the reason why we have that success by implementing the systems that Thrive has taught us and helped us out with. So.
Some of those systems that we've implemented are group interviews. That way we've really been able to come up with a really great team. We've created and implemented checklists. That way everything gets done and it gets done right. It creates accountability. We're able to make sure that everything gets done properly, both out in the field and also in our office. And also doing the podcast, like Jared had mentioned, that has really, really contributed to our success. But that, like I said, the diligence and consistency in doing those and that system has really, really been a big blessing in our lives. And also, it's really shown that we've gotten the success from following those systems.
Yeah. So before working with Thrive, we were basically stuck. Really no new growth with our business. And we were in a rut, and we didn't know.
The last 3 years, our customer base had pretty much stayed the same. We weren't shrinking, but we weren't really growing either.
Yeah, and so we didn't really know where to go, what to do, how to get out of this rut that we're in. But Thrive helped us with that. They implemented those systems. That they taught us those systems. They taught us the knowledge that we needed in order to succeed. Now it's been a grind. Absolutely, it's been a grind this last year. But we're getting those fruits from that hard work and the diligent effort that we're able to put into it. So again, we were in a rut. Thrive helped us get out of that rut. And if you're thinking about working with Thrive, quit thinking about it and just do it. Do the action, and you'll get the results. It will take hard work and discipline, but that's what it's going to take in order to really succeed. So we just want to give a big shout out to Thrive, a big thank you out there to Thrive. We wouldn't be where we're at now without their help.
Hi, I'm Dr. Mark Moore. I'm a pediatric dentist. Through our new digital marketing plan, we have seen a marked increase in the number of new patients that we're seeing every month, year over year. 1 month, for example, we went from 110 new patients the previous year to over 180 new patients in the same month. And overall, our average is running about 40 to 42% increase month over month, year over year. The group of people required to implement our new digital marketing plan is immense, starting with a business coach, videographers, photographers, web designers. Back when I graduated dental school in 1985, nobody advertised. The only marketing that was ethically allowed in everybody's eyes was mouth-to-mouth marketing. By choosing to use the services, you're choosing to use a proven turnkey marketing and coaching system that will grow your practice and get you the results that you're looking for. I went to the University of Oklahoma College of Dentistry, graduated in 1983, and then I did my pediatric dental residency at Baylor College of Dentistry from 1983 to 1985.
Hello, my name is Charles Kolaw with Kolaw Fitness. Today I want to tell you a little bit about Clay Clark and how I know Clay Clark. Clay Clark has been my business coach since 2017. He's helped us grow from 2 locations to now 6 locations. We're planning to do 7 locations in 7 years and then franchise. And Clay has done a great job of helping us navigate anything that has to do with like running the business, building the systems, the checklists, the workflows, the audits, how to navigate lease agreements, how to buy property, how to work with brokers and builders. This guy is just amazing. He's this kind of guy has worked in every single industry. He's written books with like Lee Cockrell, head of Disney, with the 40,000 cast members. He's friends with like Mike Lindell. He does Reawaken America tours, where he does these tours all across the country, where 10,000 or more people show up to some of these tours. On the day-to-day, he does anywhere from about 160 companies. He's at the top. He has a team of business coaches, videographers, and graphic designers and web developers, and they run 160 companies every single week. So think of this guy with a team of business coaches running 160 companies. So in the weekly, he's running 160 companies. Every 6 to 8 weeks, he's doing Reawaken America tours. Every 6 to 8 weeks, he's also doing business conferences where 200 people show up, and he teaches people a 13-step proven system that he's done and worked with billionaires, helping them grow their companies. So I've seen guys from startups go from startup to being multimillionaires, teaching people how to get time freedom and financial freedom through the system. Critical thinking, document creation, putting it into organizing everything in their head to building into a franchisable, scalable business. Like one of his businesses has like 500 franchises. That's just one of the companies or brands that he works with. So amazing guy, Elon Musk kind of like smart guy. He kind of comes off sometimes as socially awkward, but he's so brilliant, and he's taught me so much. When I say that, like Clay is like, he doesn't care what people think when you're talking to him. He cares about where you're going in your life and where he can get you to go. And that's what I like most about him. He's like a good coach. A coach isn't just making you feel good all the time. A coach is actually helping you get to the best you. And Clay has been an amazing business coach. Through the course of that, we became friends. I was really most impressed with him is when I was shadowing him one time. We went into a business deal and listened to it. I got to shadow and listen to it. And when we walked out, I knew that he could make millions on the deal. And they were super excited about working with him. And he told me, he's like, I'm not going to touch it. I'm going to turn it down, because he knew it was going to harm the common good of people in the long run. And the guy's integrity just really wowed me. It brought tears to my eyes to see that this guy, his highest desire was to do what's right. And anyways, just an amazing man. So anyways, impacted me a lot. He's helped navigate anytime I've got nervous or worried about how to run the company, or navigating competition and an economy that's like, I remember we got closed down for 3 months. He helped us navigate on how to stay open, how to get back open, how to just survive through all the COVID shutdowns, lockdowns, because our clubs were all closed for.
I'm Rachel with Tip Top Canine, and we just want to give a huge thank you to Clay and Vanessa Clark.
Hey guys, I'm Ryan with Tip Top Canine. Just want to say a big thank you to Thrive 15. Thank you to Make Your Life Epic. We love you guys, we appreciate you, and really just appreciate how far you've taken us. This is our old house, right? This is where we used to live a few years ago. This is our old neighborhood. See, it's nice, right? So this is my old van and our old school marketing, and this is our old team. And by team, I mean it's me and another guy.
This is our new house with our new neighborhood. This is our new van with our new marketing, and this is our new team. We went from 4 to 14, and I took this beautiful photo. We worked with several different business coaches in the past, and they were all about helping Ryan sell better and just teaching sales, which is awesome, but Ryan is a really great salesman. So we didn't need that. We needed somebody to help us get everything that was in his head out into systems, into manuals and scripts, and actually build a team. So now that we have systems in place, we've gone from 1 to 10 locations in only a year.
In October 2016, we grossed 13 grand for the whole month. Right now it's 2018, the month of October. It's only the 22nd. We've already grossed a little over 50 grand for the whole month, and we still have time to go. We're just thankful for you, thankful for Thrive and your mentorship, and we're really thankful that you guys have helped us to grow a business that we run now instead of the business running us. Just thank you times 1,000.
The Thrivetime Show, 2-day interactive business workshops, are the highest and most reviewed business workshops on the planet.
You can learn the proven 13-point business systems that Dr. Zellner and I have used over and over to start and grow successful companies. I mean, we get into the specific steps on what you need to do to optimize your website. We're going to teach you how to fix your conversion rate. We're going to teach you how to do a social media marketing campaign that works. How do you raise capital? How do you get a small business loan? We teach you everything you need to know here during a 2-day, 15-hour workshop. It's all here for you. You work every day in your business, but for 2 days you can escape and work on your business and build these proven systems, so now you can have a successful company that will produce both the time freedom and the financial freedom that you deserve. You're going to leave energized, motivated, but you're also going to leave empowered. The reason why I've built these workshops is because as an entrepreneur, I always wish that I had this. And because there wasn't anything like this, I would go to these motivational seminars, no money down, real estate, Ponzi scheme, get motivated seminars, and they would never teach me anything. It was like you went there and you paid for the big chocolate Easter bunny, but inside of it, it was a hollow nothingness. And I wanted the knowledge, and they're like, oh, but we'll teach you the knowledge after our next workshop. And the great thing is we have nothing to upsell. At every workshop, we teach you what you need to know. There's no one in the back of the room trying to sell you some next big get-rich-quick, walk-on-hot coals product. It's literally, we teach you the brass tacks, the specific stuff that you need to know to learn how to start and grow a business. And I encourage you to not believe what I'm saying, and I want you to Google the Z66 auto auction. I want you to Google elephant in the room. Look at Robert Zellner and Associates. Look them up and say, are they successful because they're geniuses, or are they successful because they have a proven system? When you do that research, you will discover that the same systems that we use in our own business can be used in your business. Come to Tulsa, book a ticket, and I guarantee you it's going to be the best business workshop ever, and we'll even give you your money back if you don't love it. We've built this facility for you, and we're excited to see you.
Hey, I'm Ryan Wimpy with Tip Top Canine, and I'm the founder.
I'm Rachel Wimpy, and I am a co-founder.
So we've been running Tip Top for about the last 14 years, franchising for the last 3-4 years. So someone that'd be a good fit for Tip Top loves dogs, they're high energy, they want to be able to own their own job, but they don't want to worry about, that high failure rate. They want to do that like bowling with bumper lanes.
So you give us a call, reach out to us, we'll call you, and then we'll send you an FDD, look over that, read it, fall asleep to it, it's very boring, and then we'll book a discovery day, and you come and you can spend a day or two with us to make sure that you actually like it, make sure training dogs is something that you want to do.
So an FDD is a franchise disclosure document. It's a federally regulated document that goes into all the nitty-gritty details of what the franchise agreement entails.
So who would be a good fit to buy a Tip Top Canine would be somebody who loves dogs, who wants to work with dogs all day as their profession. You'll make a lot of money, you'll have a lot of fun, it's very rewarding. And who would not be a good fit is a cat person.
So the upfront cost for Tip Top is $43,000. And a lot of people say they're generating doctor money, but on our disclosure, the numbers are anywhere from over $1 million a year in dog training, what our Oklahoma City location did last year, to 25, 35 grand a month.
To train and get trained by us for Tip Top Canine, to run your own Tip Top Canine, you would be with us for 6 weeks here in Tulsa, Oklahoma.
So we've been married for 7 years.
8 years.
8 years. So if you're watching this video, you're like, hey, maybe I want to be a dog trainer. Hey, that one sounds super amazing. Go to our website, tiptopcanine.com, click on the yellow franchising tab, fill out the form, and Rachel and I will give you a call. Our Oklahoma City location last year, they did over $1 million. He's been running that shop for 3 years. Before, he was a youth pastor with 0 sales experience, 0 dog training experience before he ever met with us.
So just call us, come spend a day with us, spend a couple days with us, make sure you like training dogs, and own your own business.
Well, the biggest reason to buy a Tip Top Canine is so you own your own job and you own your own future, and you don't hate your life. You get an enjoyable job that brings a lot of income but is really rewarding.
My name is Seth Flint, and I had originally heard about Tip Top Canine through my old pastors who I worked for. They trained their Great Pyrenees with Ryan and Tip Top Canine. They did a phenomenal job and became really good friends with Ryan and Rachel. I was working at a local church, and it was a great experience. I ended up leaving there and working with Ryan and Tip Top Canine. The biggest thing that I really enjoy about being self-employed is that I can create my own schedule. I have the ability to spend more time with my family, my wife and my daughter. So my very favorite thing about training dogs with Tip Top Canine is that I get to work with the people. Obviously, I love working with dogs, but it's just so rewarding to be able to train a dog that had serious issues, whether it's behavioral or whatever, and seeing a transformation, taking that dog home, and mom and dad are literally in tears because of how happy they are with the training. If somebody is interested, I'd say don't hesitate. Make sure you like dogs. Make sure that you enjoy working with people, because we're not just dog trainers. We are customer service people that help dogs, and so definitely don't hesitate. Just come in and ask questions. Ask all the questions you have.